We are well on our way to recording one of the hottest Julys in state history. It was 113 on Tuesday in Stillwater and 110 in Oklahoma City. And as we look ahead, no relief anytime soon from those triple-digit temperatures. Jason Doyle joins us with more on the threat that poses for wildfires, agriculture, and an overburdened electric grid. Jason?
Rich, you're right. The wildfire burned for days in Blaine County, while record heat puts pressure on our farmers and ranchers under Oklahoma's blazing sun.
For nearly a week, firefighters from across the state have battled a 10,000-acre wildfire in Blaine County. The record heat has kept that fire going.
We don't have those super strong winds like we see sometimes in those big wildfire events in the springtime, 30, 40, 50 mile an hour winds, but it's enough. Just the intense heat alone helps those fires start and helps keep them going.
There are 120 separate departments, fire departments, that have responded to this, including Lipscomb County, Texas.
No major injuries were reported and no major structures were lost to the blaze. Representative Mike Dobrinsky represents Blaine County, where the fire started burning late last week. He's thankful for the overwhelming support, and that includes the National Guard.
Thankfully, the governor approved the National Guard aerial support, which certainly we would not have wanted to do this without that assistance.
Dobrinsky got to witness the National Guard's work up close, and in one of his recent videos shows why those helicopters were so important to the effort.
Here's just a shot of the terrain here in Blaine County, so you can understand why firefighters cannot beat this on the ground.
Especially if you get into some of the terrain of western Oklahoma. That wind can be amplified just a little bit, and that's enough to cause big problems, as we've seen out in Blaine County and other parts of the state.
Rick Smith with the National Weather Center's Norman Forecast Office says there is a high-pressure system aloft over the southern plains, and that is what is causing our triple-digit heat wave.
It's not uncommon to have that weather pattern here in the summertime. That just suppresses most of the clouds, most of the precipitation that keeps any storm systems from moving through that could bring some relief, cold fronts, real cold fronts, and things like that. And it just really causes the air to sink. And as that air sinks, it heats up. And this is a particularly strong heat dome. And that's why we're seeing some of the very, very hot temperatures.
Records were set across the state on Tuesday.
Today, Oklahoma City set a new record for the day with 110 degrees. We're breaking records all over the state. At least 24 of the Oklahoma Mesonet sites yesterday broke not only their daily record for July 19th, but they broke their all-time record highs.
Does it look like our high-pressure system, is it moving any? Are we going to see any movement anytime soon?
I don't think we're going to see any dramatic improvement in the weather as far as the heat goes. We may see some up and down fluctuations. It may not be 105 to 110 every single day. Parts of us may dip below 100 a day or two, but it's still going to be 99. So it's still way above normal. It's still hot.
The good news, so far our regional electric grid is holding out against the heat. The Southwest Power Pool is meeting record demand. Last Friday, it generated more than 52,000 megawatts of energy. So far, utilities are not asking customers to cut back on demand. However, the heat is having an impact on Oklahoma's agriculture industry.
So it's really taken a terrible toll on our crops. And I think not. I see a lot of crops that will never be harvested this summer that will be failed and plowed under.
American Farmers and Ranchers President Scott Blubaugh says this heat is taking a toll on his soybean and milo crops in Kay County.
I have about 600 acres of soybeans planted out there. I doubt if I'll harvest any of those acres. Between the drought and the temperatures, it's just really stressed them so bad that looks like to me they're done or nearly done.
The heat and the drought also make it harder for ranchers to prepare to feed their livestock during the winter.
Our ranchers are not able to put up probably 20% of their normal hay crop. And so that means they're not going to have enough hay to get through the winter. And even right now, they're going to have trouble feeding the animals because the grass is dried up.
The heat itself can have a major impact on livestock as well.
because it doesn't take very long for livestock, all livestock, to quickly deteriorate from the heat and can truly die from excessive heat.
Because the temps don't go much below 80 degrees lately, extra vigilance is required.
They don't ever really get the opportunity to sort of fully cool off. And that's why it's important for our producers and farmers to continue to be vigilant about making sure water systems are working, making sure we have adequate water, trying to provide, if we can, some type of fan, some type of ventilation, continuing to offer some shade as much as possible.
As we long for cooler days, Representative Dobrinsky is looking forward to next February. That's when he plans to take what he's learned about what rural firefighters face during heat-fueled wildfires to the Capitol.
When the dust settles on this and we talk about the things that worked well and the things that we need to do better, rural funding is certainly going to be at the top of my priority. And I've been contacted by many of my rural friends in support the last week. And I am certainly not the only one that feels that way.
Even when our temperatures return to a more normal level, consumers will likely see an impact at the grocery store with increased prices for months and maybe even years to come as ag producers recover from the heat wave.